a couple of events that are coming up. One of them is Lift for Gifts, and it's going to be this weekend at Rock's Gym. Rock's Gym is in Victoria. If y'all don't know, it's on Navarro, and it's a really good gym. And I've been lifting there for a while. This weekend we'll have a lot of great lifters lifting there. There'll be Bam Bennett, who's a 1,000-pound bencher. Chris Sutton, of course, is ranked number 5 in the world. Mike Womack, who's an absolutely legend of the sport. Now, if y'all don't know who Mike Womack is, I was introduced to Mike Womack 2009 Nationals. I had my bench shirt with me, and I was in Anaheim, California. It was my first Nationals, and I was going for Jeremy Hornstra's full meet record in the USPF, which was 628 or something like that at that time.
Damn.
So Jeremy did it raw though. Like, okay, so I told Jeremy, I said, "Hey, bro, I broke your record," and Jeremy said, "Man, I set that record my second time in a bench shirt ever."
Oh wow.
And so I was like, "Yeah, but it's still to get a Jeremy Hornstra record was like to me that's a big deal because he's a legend."
You're just like, I got you.
So then, like later on, he benches like 670 something raw. Jeremy Hornstra was he's like one of my favorite benchers ever, like top 3. You know, when you talk about him, Scott Mendelson, and like Tiny Meeker, and those are great benchers. So, but I remember Mike grabbed my shirt and he's like, "I'll be back. I'm going to my hotel room." And I'm like, "You're going to your hotel room?" He's like, "Yeah, I got a sewing machine." He's like, "I'm about to bring your sleeves in. It's a single ply katana. I got it from Ken Anderson." So I'm like, wow. So I trust him to do this because, I mean, I've heard stories about this guy, right? You finally meet a legend like that. And then so he brings my shirt back, and I end up doing well at the meet and stuff like that. Everything was like perfect. I mean, this guy can take a bench shirt and just sew it on call, like, and he can do so many things. Yeah, it was crazy. So the first person I ever seen like just know so much about a bench shirt was actually Womack. He coached me for a long time. So when we talk about guys like that and the impact that he's had on the sport, it's phenomenal because he has like the bench daddy. He has all those bench press shirts that are in the high school.
Oh, okay, so that's him. I see his name everywhere, and I'm like,
Bench Daddy.
and I've never actually like met the dude. I just see Bench Daddy, and I'm like, who is that? Like, what brand is that? And I always look at it, and I'm like, man, that's the same. Whenever I met the guy from Oblivion, and the same guy with the straps, the straps and
Which straps?
The
ones that Jamal
the
Brown
Oblivion,
uses?
yeah.
The dealer straps?
Yes.
Okay, well.
Yes, when I met him, he's like, "Oh yeah, you know, he uses my straps," and I was like, "Who uses your straps?" He's like, "Jamal." I was like, Jamal. And I was like, "What?"
I ain't gonna lie. When I saw Jamal use them, I'm like, "Dude, I gotta try those." Because I mean, Jamal's a phenomenal lifter, but I see a lot of guys in those straps. So
yeah.
Jamal's ridiculous though. He's ridiculously strong. So okay, so we got Mike Womack's coming. He's gonna be setting everything up. He's actually bringing like his bench press, the platform. He's bringing everything.
Oh wow.
And his son Xander Womack will be lifting, and he's gonna attempt the junior world record, which he'll be the youngest person to bench press 1,000 pounds if he gets it.
Good.
I think the record right now is Dave Hoff with like 920 something. He's from Westside Barbell, so everybody.
Oh yeah. I was about to say. I mean, you know, West Side Barbell. Everybody knows.
Hey, the worst I ever got my ass whooped in a powerlifting meet. Okay, right. Okay, so I'm facing Jason Coker from Westside on a one-on-one battle. We have a $1,000 bet of who can win. We're going to the Ironman, right? So when I used to cut weight, I used to always ask Sam Bird, who's a squat legend, one of the greatest squatters of all time, Sam Bird. I would call Sam and then ask him to take me through how to cut. And then I would ask Jason, because Jason has like a crazy cut. I'm talking about like he would cut weight and then have to be carried everywhere. Like he would be so dehydrated. I've never seen nobody cut weight like Jason Coker. So I'm in my hotel room and I get to like 243 pounds. And then I remember I start peeing blood. Like I go to the restroom and I'm like, Jason, I call Jason. And I'm like, man, I'm at 243, but when I'm going to the bathroom, I see blood. He was like, bro, stop. He was like, just go 275. I was like, go 275. So I was like, oh, I missed my weight class, right? So he's like after I tell him what I weighed in at, he's like, yeah, you know who you face tomorrow, right? I was like, who? He said, Dave Hoff. So Dave Hoff decides that he's going to set the all-time 275 world record that day. He totals 2950 or some shit like that. And I totaled like right around 2300. And and so he beats me by like 600-700 pounds.
Oh.
So I'm like, I've never had no ass whooping like Dave Hoff, right? So Dave Hoff was actually the person who set the junior world record because he was at Westside as a kid. So Dave kind of grew up in Westside where he was like a little boy and he would go in there and Louis let him stay. But he absorbed so much knowledge from Westside that it just made him a phenomenal lifter.
And the story behind Westside, if you don't know, is like their whole demeanor is just power. It's just raw power.
Power.
Yes, like you go in there, you see somebody walk in there and be accepted. I don't really know how that goes. Like it used to be like way back when they used to have a bench outside, right?
No,
it was
I know Louis would do stuff outside.
Yeah,
like sleds,
I was about to say.
Like sleds with Chuck Vogelpool.
Yeah,
and you would see the old school, and they'd be training outside. I don't know if they had a bench outside.
I see like old school photos that I used to watch about powerlifting and just bodybuilding in general. Was like you could not enter certain gyms if you couldn't bench the bench outside. It was this rusty ass bench that had like 405, 315 on it.
No, I don't.
And
I
was like, I
don't remember. I remember Louis. Like the first time I ever talked to Louis Simmons, I called him on the phone and I told him my numbers. I remember him inviting me. He said, "Hey man, I want to let you know that I'm inviting you to Westside. You can be a part of this. You can lift." I couldn't afford it, right? So I was like, "Man, I can't afford to go to a high home like just out of my teens."
Right.
But like my hate
in your teens.
I was like 19, 20.
In your teens, being a god.
Well, I mean, I was.
I don't know. I'm saying good. Like that. That's like really good. Like that's crazy.
Good. But so then my hate and my envy of Louis, right, just made me always want to shoot at those guys. So like Greg Panora, like whenever I give you my top 3 favorite 242s or powerlifters of all time, it's gonna be Ed Cohn, it's gonna be Steve Goggins, it's gonna be Greg Panora. But then there's like legends like George Halbert, Jason Fiore. No, my fault. Jason Fry. Jason Fry was a 181. He had over 700-pound bench, and I mean a phenomenal lifter. I mean, whenever I think about those guys, I remember buying the tapes in like the 2000s. And
oh my God!
I would see so much like Matt Dimmel. I would see Matt Dimmel on there, Chuck Vogelpool on there. I mean, there was just so many badasses, right? So then, as you grow older, see, I'm from the '90s. So like the '90s is like you either love Westside or you hate Westside.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think it translates to my like mid generation between the two, because a lot of people that like look at it like I don't know, my generation feel like it grew up more on aesthetics than they did power, and
bro,
it just feels weird.
Listen, dude. Hey, that's what okay. So I was thinking about it this week, right? And I was thinking about Louis too, because then I was like. People like, oh man, I don't want to fail during a training cycle, or I don't want to go heavy, or man, that if you went to Westside with that attitude, you're not lasting 24 hours, bro.
Absolutely not.
Louis is gonna put his foot directly in your ass and kick you up out that bitch.
Like 100% respect to those guys. I don't speak on them, but the videos and photos that they always post, I'm like, you have to have a different attitude to go even in the vicinity of that place.
Bro, okay, so Luke Edwards, right? So he's Greg's training partner, and Luke is like one of the most. I consider Luke Edwards a legend of powerlifting, and because he's done so much. And when I call him a legend, I say, "Hey, bro, you're a legend." He'll be like, "No, I'm not a legend." Well, really, you are, because whenever I think Greg set the all-time 242 total 7 times within a like 2 to 3 year span. And when I first got out of prison, the first time I went, right, I just started looking people up, and Greg was somebody I admired. He's my good friend. I talked to him on the phone. We're cool. Like he's my boy. We were supposed to compete against each other at an Olympia, and then I ended up getting in trouble and not being able to do it. But Greg is somebody that I've always looked up to because of his ferociousness, and then like when he was going through like drug addictions and different things, it never stopped him. And I just love him as a person and everything. But those Westside is just a different animal. But Luke Edwards was Greg's training partner, and Luke will tell you like, hey man, I pushed this man so much. Greg couldn't come in half-assing because Lucas is always trying to beat him. So they always had that competitive edge of each other. So without Lucas, there is no Greg, and without Greg, there is no Lucas, because the camaraderie of those two together was fire.
It's like I love friendly competition, but I love friendly competition that's like especially on a scale of like what you're at. Like I can't imagine some of you guys that are like doing 938 versus 942, or in that vicinity, versus guys that are just training doing like, oh, I'm gonna hit 315 before you do, It's such
It's the
a.
same thing though.
You think so?
I mean, it is on its level. It's the same thing
It's just
because
competitive.
my favorite training partner ever was AJ Alvarez, and I say that because whenever I ask AJ, I can have 900 pounds on the bar, and I'll tell AJ, hey, do you think I can get this? His response will be, fuck no, this shit is about to crush you. And I'll be like, bro, you got me fucked up, bro.
Such a.
I said that is the
Such a motivating thing.
I swear to God, like I said, bro, you got me fucked up.
Hey, this deadlift bar right here, yeah, you're about to break your back right
Grab my knees
now.
real quick, bro.
Good lord.
So it's everybody's different, right? Like everybody, and it's the same thing with AJ. Like you can't kiss AJ's ass. You have to tell him he can't. Like, hey, bro, do you think I can do this? Fuck no. That's the best thing to tell him, because when you tell him that, it's gonna put a switch on him. People are different. Yeah. Now, when I trained with Preston Turner, which Preston Turner was an NCAA world record holder, IPF world record holder, multi-time national champion. His first meet in college was the NCAA all-time world record at like 2180. Youngest person to bench first teenager to bench 700 at the Arnold and win, right? He trained right here at Texas Elite. Now, Preston was different. Preston, I would have to like baby him a little bit and say, hey man, Preston, I don't know if you know this, but you're the most phenomenal lifter in the room. This guy that you're worried about doesn't even belong here with you. Like, so I would have to come at Preston in a different way to motivate him. You know, it's like you had to reassure Preston of who he is, because some people are a gorilla, but they don't know it. You know what I mean? So you have to remind, hey, listen, bro, I don't know if you know who you are, but this guy's in trouble.
That's every time I tear with Chris.
Yeah.
That's every time. Every single time I tear with Chris. If you watched the recent video I posted, you heard him at the beginning. He's like, you're either going to fail or you're going to come back up. There's no point. And I never thought about that until I attempted 600. I was like, God.
Stand up and you're going to fall. Either two is okay with me right now.
And I was so mad. Like 2-3 inches for depth. Like, golly. I'm going to get there.
Okay, so look, let me tell you a story. Okay, so you talk about depth, right?
Right.
So everybody's like a depth shark. Oh, I'm a depth shark too. Like if a world record gets set and it's not to standard, okay, I'll say something, right?
Yeah.
But there was a guy named Rick Hussey. Now, Rick Hussey was from Big Iron. And Big Iron is one of the most phenomenal. Okay, there was Louis Simmons at one point, and then there was Big Iron. So then you saw over on this point was Greg Panora. There was Luke Edwards. There was Chuck Vogelpool. There was Dave Hoff. There was Jason Fry. There were all these great West Side lifters, right? Laura Phelps, all these great. But then all of a sudden, this man who's just a normal guy named Rick Hussey starts training these athletes at a place called Big Iron, which there was James Grandick, there was Sean Frankel, there was Becca Swanson, there was Al Caslow. There were so many phenomenal guys coming up, and all of a sudden, Louis' testing got questioned because Louis doing it this way. But whenever you look at Sean Frankel total 2,700 at 220, you're like, what the fuck? So he's doing it a totally different way. But on the depth thing, I remember Rick Hussey would always say he would take his lifters, it's like a board press. He would have them 3 inches above parallel first, then he would take them to 2. But as you get more comfortable with the weight, you descend in depth. So a person that, if you think that you're just going to put on 900 pounds, never faced it before, and just have a perfect squat, you're crazy. Because you have to develop confidence in yourself. Yeah. So whenever I told you, the first time, you came up quick, right? You came up like you were about 6 inches high the first time.
Yeah.
But when you shot up, you shot up.
Right.
Every heavy squat feels like you're going to die. Yeah. Like if you have 900 to 1,000 pounds, this shit is fucking heavy.
And then you watch it back, and
you're like, dude, I handled it.
Yeah, and I'm like,
that's confidence.
I'm like, oh my god. But then again, like I hate to say, but the guys that I usually hang out with don't squat nearly as much as I do. So this is funny because I haven't told you, but I actually commented on Pablo's because he's gonna be out of town. Pablo Garcia.
I'm gonna be there.
Yeah. So yeah, he's got his. Is it his meet, right?
No, it's called Mary Gainesmith. It's ran by my homeboy Renee G. Out of what is it called? It's a gym in Austin. Bodies Beyond Belief.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know it was in Austin, and I was like, oh okay, cool. And I commented on his, and I was like, you got some friendly competition, Pablo. I'm coming for you.
You're not in competition with him.
I'm not in competition right now.
You a long way away right now.
Yeah.
You need to chill out.
No.
What? Pablo gonna spank you right now, bro.
Right now.
He got his belt, bro.
Right now. Right now, yes. I believe 100%. Like I'm not even
Okay,
getting
so who
close
we're
to
talking
that.
about? We're talking about Pablo Garcia, right?
Yeah,
Pablo Garcia is of Iron Horse Gym,
correct.
and it's in Corpus Christi. And okay, I've actually been following his training template, right, which is like 3 times a week. He does online training. He's really good, and it's like a brotherhood thing to me. Okay, so everybody knows that my homeboy Big Dave, which is my best friend of my whole entire life, he died while he was going to the Olympia. Uh, he died of a drug overdose. He was the night of the Olympia, and he ends up overdosing and just going to a party. I think he might have done some mollies or something like that, just something stupid, and he ends up passing away. And I don't mean to put his like business out there, but if anybody thinks it's a game, like when we take performance drugs and then we take party drugs, those things don't go together. And I've done it, and I can't judge anybody. You know what I mean? So I know I have, but that was my brother, and so I loved him so much. And so when he passed away, I was like, I lost a part of me that pushed me because I would call him and he would be like, "Hey man, you got to do this, you got to do that." When I was scared, I would call him. I'd be like, "Hey man, this weight, I'm intimidated. I don't know what to do. It fucks my head up." And he would remind me how good I am. He would say, "Hey man, you're Chris. You don't have nothing to worry about. Just fire off on it." So with Pablo's the same thing. It's like when he sends you that workout every week, he's basically telling you how much do you want your dream. Yeah. So when you read it and then you say, "Hey, am I gonna do this or I'm gonna back down from it?" I don't care if I'm hungover or partied, whatever I've done. When I see this workout and I take it to the gym, do I want to complete it or do I not want to? You know what I mean? So it's being held accountable. So Pablo is a great coach. If y'all don't even know who he is, he owns Iron Horse Gym. And I mean, he's just a phenomenal person. Online training, he's very good. I'll be going to Mary Gainesmas, which is the meet he's doing. He probably told like 19 to 2,000 raw.
Oh, I say 2,000. I'd say right at 2,000.
I
would say
he's going to the Arnold, so I think he's going to do 19 something, and then he'll probably do 2,000 at the Arnold Classic.
just kind of just put it
Yeah,
past.
just PR and make sure that he gets something that's good, and then go from there.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, very good person. Very good person.
Very good person.
Very very good person.
So, and then okay, so yeah, it's crazy. So now getting back to the roster of the lift forgets when we talked about Hoff and of course Xander, that we go into West.
Yeah, we're just bobbling now.
We're just bobbling.
Yeah,
but whenever we talk about a Dave Hoff record,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's that you're saying something. So no one has benched at 20 years old what Xander's about to try, and that's a phenomenal thing. So.
And that's gonna be this Saturday at Rocks.
This Saturday, Lift for Gifts. I'm having a charity event, which of course is at Rocks Gym. We're asking people to bring toys. It's an APA sanctioned event. Jim Ford may be the APA state chairman, where I'm able to bring meats to Texas and stuff like that. So it's a really good thing. And so I'm just gonna keep grinding and keep making sure that lifters have a place to lift. And it's my heart, my passion. So it's something I definitely want to do.
Yeah. So we have that coming up Saturday, and all we just ask is that you just bring gifts and enjoy some really good lifting, watch some good people come out there. I have another one next week, which is going to be at Iron Compound with Daniel. Speaking of big lifters, also Daniel too.
Daniel Perez.
Daniel Perez.
Daniel the Hulk Perez.
The Hulk.
The Hulk. He's out of Iron Compound Gym. It's him and his wife Erica. They own that gym. It's a really cool gym. I mean, it's not
energy.
Energy.
Energy. It's so different.
Energy, and it's really like it's not huge, but it's fire.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? When you go in there, it's like they just get to the point, and it's a good place. And Daniel has a meet. It's also a deadlift meet for charity. It's gonna be sanctioned by the APA.
Yep.
You can bring toys, and you can do it like a $10 donation and stuff like that. So he'll have stuff coming up for the APA, and he does a good job because his heart's in it. So.
Oh yeah, I'll be there as well. I'll be running the table.
Master of ceremonies.
Master of ceremonies.
APA
again.
state chairman record.
So I'll be there. If you need any contact at all, I would hit up Daniel. I mean, he's a good person. All of those people that have been there are all family, just like at Iron Horse and just like at Texas Elite. We're all just like this weird big family that just want to just get as like strong as possible, and it's crazy. But yeah, check it out because that's next week. Then we have this week, which is the Lift for Gifts. That Lift for Gifts roster is gonna fill up, and what do they need to just do? They just need to bring a gift, right?
If you want to compete at the Lift for Gifts, all you have to do is bring a present. If you tell me now, tomorrow, I don't care if you jump in at the last minute. It's all good. We just want presents for kids. Right now, we're at about 300, and I'm trying to get to 500 because that's my record. So I have a personal goal, and I do this every year. And people like Pap, you've been to prison, you've been through a lot of shit in life. whenever you see me doing stuff, this is just a plea bargain to God. You know what I mean? Like when you see me doing good things and like trying to give back, it's a plea bargain to God to forgive me for the mistakes that I make because I know I've made a lot. I make them all the time. So when I do stuff like this, it's not that I'm trying to show out, brag, or do something. It's really just me. Hey God, I know I fucked up a whole lot in my life. I've been addicted to drugs. I've been in jail. I've been through all this shit, but I just want to let you know that my heart is somewhat in the right place, and no matter what, I'm trying to be better. You know what I mean? And that's why I do things like that. That's why you see me run free meets, because a lot of kids don't have $100 to spend on a powerlifting event and this economy. So you'll see me run shit free, and it's because when I was a kid and I would go to the YMCA, right, all those guys would help me free. You know what I mean? I had people that, hey, Pat, meet me at the gym at this time, and I meet them, and they wouldn't charge me. So, and I remember that. And maybe my parents could afford it, maybe they couldn't. Yeah. But it didn't matter because they didn't charge me because they just saw something in me and said, hey, you know what, you could be a good lifter one day. Let me help you out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at this point, which is crazy, I've been powerlifting for a year now, like actually sticking to a program of powerlifting. And it's crazy going from like it's weird that from like 315 all the way up to almost 600. I'm not going to count it because of depth, but that's just me.
I mean, you're right there.
Everyone was saying, and I hate to say, I love you guys. Everybody was reviewing the field age, and everybody was like, "Man, you got that easily." I do, but the point is myself doesn't allow that because at the end of the day,
hey, listen, man.
I do have it.
You have to teach yourself.
Yeah.
I remember I had to cuss you out too to make you do it. Bitch.
That is true.
Bitch.
That is true.
Stop doubting yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had to talk bad to you. I had to do all kinds of shit.
I have the 3-minute video before that still on my phone. So I'm gonna start playing that every time that I do a lift.
Hey, so no, what I'm saying is it's like when I saw you come up. Okay, when you decided the reverse on the first one, I was like, it was easy. But the intimidation you feel on a weight, everybody has it. We all feel that. Yeah. Bro, when you walk, okay, I'm sure when Donnie Thompson was trying like 1275 or whatever, imagine having that on your back. Oh, imagine how that feels. It feels like you're gonna die.
Yeah, 600 feels like I want to die.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm like, it's like an intimidating feeling, but you just have to go down.
I just got the beer in my nose.
Oh, you're good. Sorry, I get beer in my nose all the time. Hey, look.
But yes.
It's like, oh God, oh man, this shit's heavy, and then you just have to say, fuck it, commit. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's not an easy thing to do sometimes, but you just have to. But that's why I say, when I went back to Rick Hussey. Because Rick Hussey, just like board press on the bench, what do we do on the bench? We take it to a 3 board, then we take it to a 2 board, and we work it down. Yep. So what do you do with the squat? It's the same shit. Work it down. You're 3 inches high. Okay, cool. We know we can get it down. Let's take it a little deeper next time. Okay, cool. What we do next time? Next time you're doing it for reps. Yeah. You know what I mean? You start, fuck it. I got 3, I got 5, I got 10. Yep. Then we move up. Now what's the next goal? What's the next mountain we have to climb? That's powerlifting. Yeah. I think powerlifting has gotten pussified because when it comes to these new people selling online training.
Oh my God.
Bro, it's ridiculous. Listen, when you get people selling this online training and people don't want to fail. Oh, I haven't trained. I haven't failed in 6 months on an attempt. Bro, I fail all the time.
It's me. I'm like, dude, I failed 330 even though I know I had it like a couple months ago. Like, I failed 330, and I'm like...
On bench?
Yeah. I told you. I called you, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like,
okay, but and also you squatted like 600
the
same week. Yeah. Whenever you take, like, big squat attempts, I always tell people, if you have a good squat day, expect your bench to be trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you have...
Because the leg drive, right? Like, the hip...
Whether you feel your central nervous system being fucked up, it's fucked up. You've overexerted yourself, and then you're trying to hit a maximum attempt when your body is not maximum. Yeah. You don't have the leg drive you're going to have, and you're exhausted. So it's different. You know what I mean?
It is a lot different, which is crazy because, like, some people, which is what I was going to say at first, because you mentioned the YMCA. I started at the YMCA. Yeah, that was crazy. I started in Victoria at the YMCA, and I remember going in almost every day for, like, 2 hours, 10 hours.
You know her?
I think
old school lady?
Old school, yeah.
She does, like, she's a badass, bro. She's like 70, 60-something years old, man.
Yeah.
She was doing the yoga classes. She was killing the little girl.
Yeah, I was like...
Rosalinda Ramirez is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, I was just like... And I just thought it was like... I thought it was good to squat, 225 for reps. in 315, and then I went to Rocks and I met Chris and literally, the first day that I was at Rocks, I saw you squat 7. I don't remember. It was close to like I think it was like 755 or something like that. I don't exactly remember, but I remember just doing like my squat next to you, and I was just like, oh. Then I met Marcy and Marciello.
He's strong.
He's yeah, and
Where's he been?
I really don't.
I haven't seen him in a
I
minute.
don't really know. I'll be honest. I really don't know. Last time I heard,
he was getting really strong, bro.
well, he had to take it off because he had his baby. Congratulations. But
he hurt his hamstring for a second.
Yes, and then I believe he hurt his hamstring, and then I last I had heard he was moving, and because for a job, and it's all better for him. At the end of the day,
yeah, he's a bad dude though. That dude was getting strong.
And I remember he got me out of the corner of his eye and saw me do 315 for reps, and he's like, "Is that your max?" And I was like, "That's the most I can do is 2." And he's like, "Why are you gonna have such a good squat but a mediocre ass no form?" Because I was so
your form's still trash.
It's still trash. I
was trying to help you today.
I don't understand it, which is crazy.
It's called you're powerful, bro.
Yeah.
You're powerful, but then okay, I ain't gonna lie. Like, okay, I didn't even know my form was trash. I watch old Ed Cohn videos. Now, I don't like listening to people who are really great powerlifters. So like if you try to tell me, hey, Dan Green, Eric Lillybridge, or Donnie Thompson, or somebody's gonna be your coach, and I see how great they are, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna trust them as a coach, right? This is why, no disrespect to neither one of those guys, but I'm saying those guys are far more talented than 99.99999% of the world. So just because Eric Lillybridge does it and gets away with it doesn't mean it's right. And he's a phenomenal lifter. His techniques for him, his families are legends. But I'm saying Dan Green is different.
Yeah.
Dan Green can do jumping jacks for 30 days, not lift weights, and still beat you in a powerlifting meet. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying he's that talented.
Right.
He's a
just
phenom.
Born with it.
He was born to beat your ass.
Yeah.
So if you tell me Dan Green does something, I'm just not going to necessarily say, "Oh, that works," right?
Right.
Because it's Dan. Dan's different.
And everybody's body's different too.
Dan is like Dan. Whenever you see Dan in real life, it's like a mutant dude. Like he's so he has muscles upon muscles upon muscles, and he's so strong. And Dan is a great coach, and Eric is a great coach. All of those guys I mentioned are of course great coaches. Mm-hmm. But there's something about Ed when Ed coaches. Ed Cohn. Now Ed Cohn is considered the greatest of all time, but he has a humbleness approach about the way he coaches and the way he explains things. And then there's some things he'll tell you that if it works for you, then it's okay. Mm-hmm. So then he kind of absorbs your style and then tries to implement a little bit of his style. Yeah. That's why I always love watching Ed Cohn videos. But a lot of the stuff that I was telling you about, like tightening your back, tightening your core, all comes from Ed. And that's when I just listen to Ed, even though he knows he's great. Like I'm not going to call him humble because if you ask Ed, hey, who do you think the baddest man that ever walked this planet was? And he doesn't say himself, he's lying. You know what I mean? And he is. Like Ed Cohn, in any point of life, if you put Ed Cohn in a battle with anybody, he's going to believe in Ed. I promise that. 100% every time.
No shot.
You know, you understand what I'm saying? So humble is, I'm not calling him humble because he's ferocious. But whenever it comes to training people in his heart, he has a humbleness about himself of teaching. And I love his videos. And I was trying to teach you today about like tightening your back and the things, getting it a little bit lower, putting it into the position and stuff like that. And that's something that your squat's going to go crazy because you have the frame. Once you get this shit down, seriously, you've just been in a comfort zone where nobody really tells you anything and you can do what you want to do and you're getting away with it because you're getting stronger.
Yeah, which is absolutely crazy for somebody like me to still have like a mediocre style bench. We're working on that, but
I gotta see the bench. I see the squat. Yeah. I always tell every time I watch a video, like, bro, you have the ball way too high in the back. I always tell you the same thing. Then when I see you today, the toe placement is something we have to work on.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's like I got close to I think 585 is still my max on deadlift, but it was with straps. But
that don't matter. I mean, shit, you got to do it with straps before you do it without. Exactly. It don't matter. Yeah. Deadlift, it's called a deadlift. It's not a grip. Yeah. You're not. It's not. If we had a grip lift in powerlifting, it would be called that. we're not testing our grip. So as long as you can pull the weight, it's showing that you're getting stronger.
Yeah.
With straps or without straps. Now, of course, you have to adjust your grip to your strength.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I understand that. So
Yeah, definitely. It's so weird to be like, oh, 585, 585, and I think my top bench ever, whenever like I wasn't cutting, I think was like 355, 360 for
that's
a
good.
single. That's it. I mean,
It's good though. I mean,
yeah,
you're a rookie, bro.
yeah.
You've been doing this a year.
Look, all right. Yeah, you're not wrong. You know, but I have it tattooed on me. Comparison is the thief of joy. It's such a like, it's
And
such
you
a
came,
weird
listen,
balance.
check this balance out. You came
Okay.
up in the wrong era of powerlifting. Listen, bro. Okay, so I remember when Eric Lillybridge and Stan Evergen were trying to battle to become the first 275 to break John Cole's record, which was 2,300. At this point, there are so many people who have beat this record. It is ridiculous.
Oh
But
yeah.
just 10 years ago,
Yeah.
that was the record. John Cole, one of the most phenomenal lifters of the '70s, had like a 2275, and that hadn't been beat yet. Of course, Don Reinhardt, the super heavyweight, he had like a 24 something where he did very easily. He had way more. Don was strong. Then there was like OJ, I forget, he was a black guy. He had the world record for a second. That was like Bill Casimir had the record for a second. Ed Cohn had the record for a second. But all those records were around 24. Now the all-time total in gear is 3,100.
31. Yeah, it was like,
Now we have John Hack, who is a 220, totaling 2,300. So when I say you came up in the wrong era, you said comparison is the thief of joy because you have to compare yourself. I never had to compare myself to in the 90s and the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I was comparing myself to Greg Panora, 2630 at 242, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, I think Chris Delafave is 2750, and then Jew is like a 2700.
Lord.
I beat Jew one-on-one at the Olympia.
Did you?
I smoked that ass.
Which Olympia did you win that year?
2014. No, it was 2014. This was started. Okay, so this is what started the me and Pacifico beef, right?
Yeah.
So I said, man, fuck multiply. Y'all wear that gear. Y'all can't beat me single ply, right? So then I call out who was Samaroha. He was a world record holder. He has a 2,700 pound total this time. So then I end up beating him. He can't even squat his opener 810. You know what I mean? So then I remember Dave, my homeboy, Big Dave, he tells me to lower my openers. So I lowered like 785. I ended up getting 810 to clear the meet, right? Mm-hmm. And then Hoover didn't get an attempt. And so everybody was just like, they thought this man was just going to destroy me. But without the monolift and all that gear, it's way different. And then walking out of squat is way different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that started the shit with me and Pacifico, because then Pacifico was like, yeah, you think you bad because you beat Hoover. I said, bitch, I'll beat you too.
Bro,
you know I mean?
bro, we have a monolift at Texas Elite, and I still walk it out.
Yeah,
I still walk it out. And
but Pacifico, I ain't gonna lie, Pacifico is really good. But that's what started the thing with me and Pacifico. Was
what do you think your best Olympia was? Like vibe, the people, like what do you?
Olympia?
Yeah. And don't say one that you won.
All of them, bro.
Really?
Bro, none of them. They're all amazing, bro. It's okay. Like, have you ever read books like as a kid of like stars? Like, say I'm a basketball player, right? And then I read ESPN magazine. I read Sports Illustrated. I read all this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Then when you walk into the Olympia, you see everybody you ever
You're on
admired.
that stage. Yeah.
They're there.
The same stage as all the other greats.
You got Jay Cutler there. You got Ronnie Coleman. You watching Ronnie in the airport. I'm watching Ronnie with his bags. You know what I'm saying? Ronnie is in the airport. He's like a normal guy. He's just carrying his bags. You know what I mean? He's like trying to board a plane.
I don't think anybody that knows Ronnie knows that he's a normal guy.
I'm saying it's
he's
like
always swarmed.
You see these like legends in Human Element.
Right.
You see Ronda Rousey. You see like Rashad Evans, Alistair Overeem, Shogun Rua. You see all the UFC fighters, but you see them as normal people because all they're doing is walking around the Olympia. That's why I say every experience of something like that to me is amazing, because it doesn't matter if I win or lose, or it's just attending and just seeing those people. Because like some kids dream to play basketball, and then you walk in and then you see LeBron James there, he's hooping, he's doing whatever with his family, or Michael Jordan. It's just an awesome feeling. I remember my first Olympia, Ed comes over and he's giving me advice. Ed Cohn, my hero. So everyone is special. There's win or lose, it doesn't change it. Because it's not even the lifting that makes it special.
That's your favorite thing: win, lose, or draw.
Win, lose, or draw.
Win, lose, or draw.
Win, lose, or draw.
I say that has to be like I want to go to the Rogue Invitational to see the strongmen.
They're
out
there,
there.
and the crazy thing is they're there at the Olympia also.
Really?
Like I met Brian Shaw. Yeah, Brian Shaw's huge.
I was about to say.
And the crazy thing is like, okay, so like when I see him, like we'll just be walking, and then we'll just see somebody. Hey, bro, is that Brian Shaw? I'm pretty sure he's like
Yeah,
400
he's like
pounds and 7
he's
foot.
just 7 foot tall.
You know what I mean?
It's like, hey, is that Thor? Yeah, he's
Is
like,
that Thor?
he's like,
I'm pretty sure, bro.
isn't he like 360, 380, and
Brian
like
Shaw's big.
7'2"?
Bro, I look like a midget next to him. It was actually me and Michael Moreno. So me and Michael Moreno, he's a really good powerlifter, world record holder at one point, one of the best of all time. And then we're just walking through the Olympia, and they're like, "Hey, bro, is that Brian Shaw? Let's get a picture." So we're like, "Hey, Brian, can we take a picture with you?" He's cool. Like he said, "Yeah." So I seen Dorian Yates like just walking in a bar.
God.
Hey, so we go to Dre's nightclub, right? A night after the Olympia, right? And I see Dorian signing a woman's tag. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
What?
Bro, she's signing her boob. Why would you? Okay, I'm like, this is so cool. She knows that shit's just to wash off.
Right.
Yeah, she's still letting him do it.
Right.
And it was Dorian Yates, Chris Cormier, and just different people. And I walked up to Dorian. I'm like, hey man, I just want to let you know that I was in boys' homes when I was a little kid, and everything that you ever did in life made me not give up. I respect you so much, and I admire you. And he tipped my glass. He hit my glass. He's like, thank you, and I appreciate that. Now, with Dorian Yates, I remember being in a boys' home called Woodside Trails, right? And this lady, she was over everything. Her name was BB Gaines. And she gives me a book called Muscle and Fitness by Joe Weider. And I remember I'm reading it in my little cubicle or whatever. I'm in the boys' home. And it says that Dorian was in prison before he made it to the Olympia. You know what I mean? So he was in Great Britain. He got in a bunch of trouble. So one of his officers said, hey, I want to let you know that you have a lot of talent in weightlifting. So when you get out of this detention center, you need to chase this and do something with it. And Dorian was really from the streets. I mean, thug in a way because he had nobody and he had to make it on his own. So that's why Dorian, whenever anybody asks me, who's your favorite bodybuilder, that's why. Because I'm like, dude, he went through all the shit that I went through as a kid. He's locked up. He went through this and that, you know what I mean? So, and he made it. So that's why when I see him, I'm starstruck. Like, you might see Elton John. When I see Dorian, that's like you see Elton. You know what I'm saying?
Wild.
I'm starstruck. I'm like,
I believe it. Just because you said DVDs earlier about like getting the DVDs, like bodybuilding DVDs and powerlifting DVDs and stuff like that. I actually saw on, you know who Andrew Jolly is, the guy at Rock Supplements.
Andrew Jolly, he's gonna be news. He's got a news interview Saturday at the Lift Forgets. It's gonna be, of course, me. And then it's going to be Mike Womack getting interviewed, and then Andrew, he's from the store, so he represents Rock's gym. So then he'll be getting interviewed. I know exactly who Andrew is.
Yeah, he posted on his Instagram the other day of a Dorian Yates DVD signed by Dorian Yates. Yeah.
Bro, stop playing, bro. I know what it is.
It's the one with the purple and red splatter on it, right?
No, I know what it is.
Oh my
God. Blood and Guts is the
God.
most famous Dorian Yates.
I saw that and I was like, where do you find a DVD player in 2024?
Who cares?
I was like, you know what? I was about to say he should frame that though. Like, oh my lord, like that's history right there. Just a signature from him is gonna be history.
Dorian is he's the first big man. Like if you look at all the other bodybuilders, so there was Lee Haney. Lee Haney was like 240, but then there came Dorian, and Dorian, honestly, if it wasn't for Dorian, Flex Wheeler would have 2 to 3 Olympia championships because Flex looks so great. His aesthetics and just the way he looked physically was an amazing thing. I met him a few times, Flex Wheeler. And then it's just, Dorian just dominated him. You know what I mean? It was just, Dorian brought something no one had ever brought, that big package. And, of course, now that Ronnie took it to a whole different level. But,
oh, yeah. Because he wasn't he a powerlifter before?
Yeah, he was a powerlifter,
but he was the heavy... He's always known as the heavy guy.
DNA his DNA was his DNA was different. Like whatever structure that his mom and dad created, whatever they did, just made him a different human being than everybody else.
Just had 2 scoops of pre and just went at it. He was made.
He was just gifted. And what bothers me, what bothers me about Ronnie is when people say, "Oh, he can't walk," or his hips are hurt. He fucked his life up. I say, listen, you don't never have to worry about being like Ronnie. You don't have enough heart. You don't have what it takes to walk like him at his age. You don't have what it takes to be in a wheelchair at his age. You don't have what it takes to have the surgeries you have. Promise. You never have to go in life and worry about being like Ronnie because you're not built like Ronnie.
Yeah.
The way he pushed his body shows now.
I was about to say, even now.
When we die, they might talk us about a year. When Ronnie dies and the greatest bodybuilders of all time get brought up in 50 years, Ronnie's going to be on there.
Oh, yeah. Jay Cutler, Ronnie.
Franco Colombo, Frank Zane, Lou Ferrigno.
Now C-Bum because now he's 5.
I mean, C-Bum.
Is he 5? Is he 5 times now?
I mean, I like.
I know he's 4 times, but I don't know if he's won.
I know he won
this last time. 5 times?
I don't compare, and this is no disrespect to C-Bum, but I just don't compare C-Bum to this, what we're talking about.
Right.
We're talking about the greatest bodybuilder on earth. Listen, in the 90s, C-Bum would have been an average bodybuilder.
Oh, yeah. The aesthetic changed.
It's an aesthetic change.
Yeah.
Like, okay, think about this. What if we put Frank Zane in a physique class? What if Franco Colombo got to compete in the 210 class?
In the 210?
And he didn't have to face Arnold.
Ooh.
What if Franco didn't have to face Arnold
You're pissing off some people here, Chris.
No, I'm saying when we
but I see what you mean.
I'm
I see what you mean.
Franco Colombo was my second favorite bodybuilder of all time. He barely weighs over 200 pounds.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is if he didn't have to face Arnold in the showdown, he wins multiple.
Yeah.
The record is 6 210 Olympia championships by Flex Lewis. Franco and Frank, they probably have about 10. And it just is what it is. Back then, this is the greatest bodybuilder on earth. There is no physique class. There is no all this shit to water it down.
Yeah.
You're either the man or you're not. You know what I mean?
It's easy to
Arnold
put in the hard work and do it.
Haney was the man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Frank Zane at one point was the man.
Yeah.
You know, all these different guys, they're good. Even Serge Nubert, if you don't even know who he is, he's a brother, but his physique too was also so classic physique. You put him in there, he's a killer.
Really?
Serge Nubert, Nubrit, Nubert. Serge Nubert. Bro, badass.
I'm going to have to do some research.
You have to do some research.
I'm going to have to do some research.
Great physique, bro.
Yeah?
Hell yeah.
What class?
Back
then, never mind. I'm so used to saying what class now.
It's called the king class. You're either the king or the queen. Ain't no in between.
I'm so used to saying class now because.
And C-Bum is great. I think C-Bum is a phenomenal athlete, a phenomenal guy, a phenomenal aspect to the sport. I respect everything he did, but I'm just saying, in the era of where we talk about,
right,
then it's like he would fall into places as a bodybuilder. If you get in stage in your underwear and you flex, you're a bodybuilder. To me, you understand? So, if you put him next to those greats,
right, there's no comparison.
There's no comparison.
Which is crazy because, like we were kind of just mentioning, it's a physique change though. Like between the 90s and 2000s,
it's a physique change in opinion.
Yeah,
because now we're judging on
opinion.
An opinion. This is your opinion of what he should look like. His opinion of what he should look like
based on his body, on his frame. Like he should have lats that stick out, past his bicep at this certain piece, and I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. Like I think that's why I just stick to powerlifting. Just push the fucking weight. That's it. Like,
push the fucking weight.
Just push the fucking weight.
Power is so much easier than what they do, bro. Like what they do is so much harder, bro.
I can't imagine. Like it's hard.
The diet, the science.
Yeah, I was just about to say like
discipline, determination. You got to I give those guys their props.
Like shout out George Pena.
George Pena.
Yes.
Yeah.
His son. I'm not sure. I don't want to say it. I want to say classic. But he did compete. And shout out to that man because he was over 300 pounds and he cut all of it.
And he looked great. He looked great.
Oh yeah, I mean
his dad's strong though. He got good genetics. His dad's a beast.
But shout out to him because he's a good friend to me, and he knew whenever I cut down from 370 to 298 way back, like he would see him. And him and Jacob would see me going in every month.
Jacob, I call him the supplement nerd.
Supplement. Man, that dude, that's great.
He knows everything.
He's at Stinger now. Stinger Supplements.
No, he was. I think they let him go out for some reason. But yeah, he's... Bro, when I'm taking something, I go run it. Jacob will read a bottle. Like, have you ever seen that movie Short Circuit? With the little robot that reads fast?
Yeah.
The robot.
Oh my God.
And he reminds me of that robot, right? Because he'll read the bottle, right? And then he'll
have to watch that movie now.
And he'll spit out, oh yeah, it has this.
You got a VCR handy here?
Wow, bro.
Y'all kids know what VCRs are?
Yeah,
y'all know what 8-tracks are?
I know what an 8-track is.
Oh my God.
I know what an Atari is.
I know what an Atari is. I came from like that much, but I was poor though.
Yeah.
Like that's all we could afford was from the garage sale.
I mean,
But
yeah,
we had
right. Oh, well, Atari go hard.
yeah,
Put an Atari and see
we
if
had
I'm
a
playing
Super
going hard right
Nintendo
now.
and an Atari.
Put an
Whenever I
Atari on my
showed you.
TV right now and see if I'm going hard right now. I swear to God, I will.
That's such a.
If we play Nintendo right now, I'm going hard. But I swear to
That's
God, I'm
so.
reverting back to my childhood
Oh,
right now.
good lord.
You give me a Nintendo and some games, I'm going in all day long. I don't care. I don't care about a PlayStation, PlayStation 3. Nintendo's going to take me back to my element.
Oh my god. Speaking of toys though, but again, yeah. So we have the Live for Gifts this Saturday, and that's gonna be a whole lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun. The last meet that we did, oh my god, the energy was crazy.
The energy is crazy. And see, with the APA, that's all I want to bring is the energy. Like that no cussing on the platform or all these stupid rules. I'm about the lifter, man.
Yeah.
I'm about intensity, making it good for the lifter, making the lifter comfortable because
Yeah.
this is a sport. And if we take it seriously, but then at the meet you still have to just let people vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is not a friendly sport. To me, this is a contact sport to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
You
I'm
can get touched.
with you there,
You
bro.
can get touched
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
sport. So it's an aggressive sport and it's a man's sport. And I mean, not saying it's a woman's sport too, but I'm saying it's a man's sport and it's hardcore.
We're just putting that out there. Some of these girls are getting stronger stronger than the guys.
Oh yeah,
Especially the
hey,
180,
listen,
the 180 to 170
shout out
class.
to all you dudes that are selling online training and have like 1,000 females stronger than you. There's a dude that tried to talk about my training, right? And then I'm just watching fucking Instagram videos of women squatting him. You know what I mean? Like, there's women like 600 pound squat. This man's never even squat 600 to me. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
And there's like this like 181 chick and she's hitting like 620 something. Dude, the women is getting fucking ridiculous.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like sometimes I get on an Instagram and I watch like they're starting to do the strong women, for the strong men. They have the strong women class now, and I'm like, these fucking girls are overhead pressing like 330. I'm like, for a woman,
who won the first? Okay,
like,
so what? Okay, who is the most famous? Who won the first strong women out of the United States?
I do not know.
Jill Mills.
I do not know.
Jill Mills.
I know that.
Okay, so Jill's
If
crazy.
you ask me anything about strongmen, yeah.
Look, Jill Mills, right? Jill Mills is a powerlifter. She's right here from Texas. She's my friend. We're close. I'm really cool with her. I know her. David Mills actually judged at our meet. You met him.
Yes.
That's her father-in-law, David. So that's Jill Mills' father-in-law. She's married to David's son, Milo, which Milo is a Texas powerlifting legend, right? So Jill's doing all these like local competition at Gary Pendergrass meet, Seguin Fitness, the Texas Cup, Texas State, USPF meets, right? Mm-hmm. She's very strong, setting world records. She's phenomenal. So she just decides, hey, I'm gonna hop in this strong woman contest, which is on ESPN. So I just saw her at like the Texas Cup in Seguin at Seguin Fitness. So then I'm walking through my living room and it says the strong woman contest, and I look and I see Jill on TV, and I'm like, what the fuck? That's Jill Mills. So then, so what fucked me up is she's in first place. You know what I mean? Jill told me, she was like, man, I didn't even get to train really well for the meet. I just kind of winged it. And I just did it. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But Jill is like one of the most phenomenal champions in Texas history. When you say, hey, who's the best lifter in Texas history? She's arguably maybe the best. I would put like Mark Henry, like, of course, Steve Goggins, of course, TJ Horner, which TJ Horner was a 148. He was toting like 1700 whenever nobody was doing it. He has like an 804 squat at 148. He had the world record for a while. Thomas James Horner. And he was really good. And then, of course, I don't know if you say Anthony Clark, Steve Goggins. Oh, Mark Henry.
Mark Henry
had like a 2300.
Some respect to Mark Henry's name if you don't know.
Mark Henry's another one.
Oh, my Lanza. He's not talked about as much as
then you have Gene Bell, Ian Bell, which Gene Bell, I think I would tip Gene a little bit because Gene was a little lighter, but Ian's won world championships. I mean, there's a lot. But when you talk about dominance, Jill dominated, bro. She didn't. I mean, I think she has maybe one loss in her career in her 40s where she tied somebody and they beat her on weight, and that was Liz Frill. Liz Frill's an absolute tank.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, it's crazy that like we think about it too, because even at our last meet at Iron Compound, Tracy Castillo. I mean, you're looking at some of these girls that are just like they're taking titles away from these guys.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, she did really good. She did really good. She had some.
She
really
was
good
so
numbers.
mad that she was 2 pounds away from 1,000.
Oh yeah.
total. She was 2 pounds away.
Well, Jill was the first woman to total 1,300.
13
She raw.
raw completely.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Damn. Good lord. Some of you motherfuckers can only hit 1,000. Talking about online training.
Bro.
We're still going back to that.
Bro, online training.
It's such a. It's
I
such
have a
a. I talk
315.
about it all the time, like between my friends, and I'm like, man, I just don't understand. Like, even as somebody, like, whenever people come up to me for advice, I always tell them, but I learned from so and so. Like, I don't understand how I could be, like, how some of these guys
But
who only do like a
there's levels
year of
of knowledge,
training.
right? So say that a novice lifter comes and you've been lifting a year, so
Yeah.
you can give him advice, true, and
Right.
you can guide him to
Right.
an extent, right?
Exactly.
In the sense that this game is still a mixed martial art,
Yeah.
because not every move you tell me is going to work in my fight arsenal. You
Correct.
can tell me, hey, tricep extensions makes me really strong. Somebody else will say, hey, skull crushers make me really strong. One arm tricep extension makes me strong. Everybody has a different weapon that they use, and not every weapon works with everybody. So then you can give him what you want, and then he can run it himself, and then see if it works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're still knowledgeable, but then there's levels of like whenever you get to like Chad Wesley Smith or Josh Bryant. Josh Bryant to me is the greatest coach in Texas history. Period.
Ooh.
Him, Gene Bell. Gene Bell's another one. Gene Bell's right up there.
Bell.
But Josh
I
is
see him tagged in a lot of stuff nowadays.
Josh?
Yes.
it's my homeboy. You're cool.
Really?
Hell yeah.
So what does it feel like you being a trainer, right? You being a trainer and you're like training these guys, like you have what's his name? He's well you have you have Jaden, which is like he's getting super strong.
Super strong. Really
Like
talented.
really talented. Then you have the football athlete, right?
Oh, Nico Green.
Nico
San Diego
Green.
State. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my Lanta. I'm like, what is he? I'm thinking like, maybe a year or two down the line, like I'm gonna see somebody and be like, oh, I trained with him at that gym.
Well,
Like-
true. But I mean, we've had a lot of legends. Bro, people sleep on Texas Elite.
Yeah.
Cody Knievel has a 2,400 pound total. He trained here. Preston, 2,300 pound total. We have multiple NCAA champions that have trained here at Texas Elite. So we've had a lot of great lifters. I myself, I train here. I've won a lot of competitions and done a lot. I mean, so, but what I think my gym is different than everybody is heart and passion. Like when you come to my gym, it's not even by the book. It's just pushing people.
Yeah.
Like, hey, bro, come on, let's try this. Then, like, even when you want to back down from something, I'm not going to let you do it. Fuck
Yeah.
this shit. Let's go. You know what I mean? Some people, oh, we'll do it next week. We'll put it in. Man,
right.
fuck that.
That's why I'm like, now
I had to get Ryan Kane, bro. Ryan Kane walked into Rock's gym, right? And Ryan Kane's a talented young lifter. And he's like, hey, man, I haven't squatted. My coach won't let me. Man, we finna load this shit up right now.
oh, when it went for 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, man, fuck
I was there.
What'd your coach say?
Yeah, you threw the blue kilo on there, right?
And I'm like, what'd your coach say? Okay, we finna do this shit right now. I'm tired of hearing this shit. I'm tired of hearing you can't squat 700.
And then his meat too. He was
Then he
like,
smoked it.
yeah, I mean, just
So
completely
your
smoked
coach,
it. Yeah,
Your coach doesn't believe in you because he doesn't believe in himself.
yeah.
Your coach doesn't think you can because he can't.
Yeah.
So he can't just push you off the cliff.
Yeah.
He's not comfortable with it because he's not comfortable. To me, I push all my lift. Like, bro, come on, let's go. We're either gonna put this shit in the rack or we're gonna get it. Period.
That's why I miss man. Shout out to Dwarm, Noah, and Diego because I miss those old days when I first got there. Whenever they were teaching me powerlifting, we were there. You
John,
remember,
I-
like
John-
2 hours
John-
at
John
night.
don't know how strong he is.
Like 2 hours at night at 10 p.m. We're
I think
fucking.
you know John's ass.
We're at like 500 pounds like
Bro,
every night.
I think you know Drum's ass too, because Drum doesn't know how strong he is.
He's so talented.
He's
Man.
so
so
like his
talented.
form is ridiculous.
Yes.
Like he's a great coach, he's a very good athlete.
Sometimes, you know, like.
But he needs that push too. He needs to come on,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, he's kind of a lot like. Well, I don't know. Like whenever I look at him, I just watch him, and he's so like. When he like just closes his eyes, and he's already committed to himself for however many he's gonna do, and I don't think that I've ever seen him fail because like he's in here, he's like I got this already. Like I feel like that's him. Like I know my limit, I know where I'm going
Yeah,
for
but
it.
you don't,
I know RPE.
You don't remember John. John used to be skinny. When we used to work out, we worked out at
Everybody
Gym X.
tells me that he used to be a bodybuilder,
like a
right?
Pizza boy, skinny pizza boy. Like no, for real. Like his family owned
I'm sorry.
restaurants.
Don't
No,
get
no.
mad at me, Drar.
No,
but-
his family owned restaurants, so he would always work at his family's restaurants. So he would work for them and all the time. So he was young and he worked for those people. You'd see him at his little family's establishment. So he was just like a dude that worked at the little pizza place or the sandwich shop, and he was skinny. He would come in the gym. So when I saw him evolve from that to what he is now, it fucked me up. I never expected it. I'm like, when I first saw you, I would never think that you would be as great at powerlifting as you are because he's come so far. But it took years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But his attitude, his mentality, everything. That's one of my friends. I love John. That's my boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ride or die, I'm rocking with John.
Yeah. He elevated my bench because he broke down my bench. And shout out to him because like he wasn't even like my trainer or anything. He was just a friend that was just like was like, man, your bench sucks. Like you have a bigger bench than you. And he had even hit 315 at that point. And he was just like, oh, what are you gonna do now? And then he's like, are you gonna hit this? And like, there's videos where I have him where he'll see me like struggling, and he'll let me struggle, you know. But then I'll like pause, and then I'll pause for a second, and he's like, come on, like, he doesn't say it, but that motion of like, I got you, is so crazy. Like, I could only imagine like if he was actually like my trainer whenever I first started, like. Shout out to him because he's very talented. He's a very good person.
Very good person.
And I'm like, man, I've like him. But I remember those days. I still do. I go in at 6:30. You find me there at 6:30 to 8:30 every single day over there. And it's like we would go over there and we'd be. It was me, Noah, Jorm, Marcy. And Diego for a little while.
Noah's talented.
And man, we would just
Noah's a motherfucker.
It was like clockwork for us.
Yeah.
But you saw us back there. We were hyped. We were loud. We were, man. And that was whenever we had like basically the whole room to ourselves. Like between those times, nobody really ever came in there because they knew that we were playing music and just hyping each other up. It was about like, you know, breaking each other. Yeah. We broke each other down so much too, especially days like where we were just like, oh, I want to lift, and they're like, get the fuck up, like, come on, man, let's fucking do it. Oh man, not even that. My heart hurts. I know my heart's gonna hurt eventually when I'm older because like now I'm at like 2 scoops of pre-workout plus an energy drink. I'm a big boy. And that's it. I was like 700 and I think I calculated it's like 725 milligrams of caffeine. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna snort. Andrew was there. Andrew Jolly. Shout out again to him. He was there whenever I loaded up like a line off of his business card because he didn't have a spoon. Oh, wow. So I just put it in a line and I chopped it up and I just threw it down. And I just chugged it down. He's like, no water is crazy.
No water's crazy.
I'm like, he's like, I should have recorded that.
I mean, that's how the sport is. I think powerlifting is mostly like the camaraderie and the brotherhood. So it's always us pushing each other and always trying to go to another level.
Oh yeah. I mean, like now we look at people like from the APA, and I'm like, and it's like not even comparing. Well, kind of comparing myself, but I'm like, man, I gotta get stronger because you guys.
We gotta get stronger.
Like all of us gotta get stronger.
Colton Inbrett just totaled like 2,500 and
we're gonna talk about Carson too.
Who's Carson?
The youngest one at the APA. Who totaled 13,
1325? Carson Rangel. Yeah, he totaled 1,300 at 275 at 13 years old.
Oh my god.
Strong.
Stop feeding that boy.
I did that shit my like junior and senior year in high school at like 198.
Good lord.
But I was like fucking 17 or 18 years old. Like I was like 5 years old than
and he's like,
good. I used to win.
And he's like 6'1".
Yeah,
he's tall
at
at 13.
I used to kill people. Like a 1,400 pound total in the 90s at 198, you're killing people.
Dante's the same way. I thought he was like my age.
You and Dante are like kind of alike.
Yeah, like I think and weirdly crazy because Dante DeLeon, shout out again, but. You know, like I've been watching him on Instagram, and that's how I figured out, like, damn, whenever you said, like, my back isn't tight, and I watch him, and we're kind of the same built. Like, you know, we got broad shoulders. We're about the same height. And I was like, damn, I wonder why he tightens up so bad. And then that's what I tried today. And whenever I was right here, instead of my wider grip, and I was right here.
It's just small things that you've done your whole life that you just need to adjust.
And I'm like, that flew. Like, that's crazy. Like, what an
It's crazy because,
adjustment.
like, as lifters, we think we know everything. We don't know
Right.
shit.
And then somebody
All of
just
us.
says like, "Hey man, you should like, your finger moves
And
like
it
an
works
inch off."
immediately.
Yeah. And it's like, "Oh, your finger moves like an inch off, or an inch this way whenever you squat. Like maybe you should tighten up." And then you readjust your brain like, "Oh, I got to tighten it up a little bit more." And then you're like, "Oh shit." Like
Those
and you go
little,
up like 10 pounds like in 2 weeks or something.
the
Like
little things make a
it's
big
so
difference.
crazy. It's so wild. But I'm ready to see the bench presses, and I'm ready. Just these next 2 weeks, at least for me, are so busy, and I'm like, man, like Iron Compound is on the 14th, and then our Lift for Gifts is this week, and man, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
It's
the
gonna be
liver
fun.
gifts is gonna be so fun. It's gonna be a great opportunity just to see everybody do their thing. It's gonna be fucking amazing, bro.
Oh yeah, if it's anything like the last one, I mean it ran smooth. I didn't really have that many issues. The music was good. I mean everybody was hyped up.
You gonna be pumping up MC,
Again,
Dr. Dre.
again, as always. I mean, I love running the table. I really do because I like yelling at people all the time.
Yeah,
And get your ass over here. Give me your attempt number.
yeah,
Like they walk out and they're like, yeah, yeah, and then they just see me over there and I'm like, get your ass. Like
yeah.
I'm like their mom, just like, hey, hey,
You gotta
hey,
man.
get over here right now. I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. But yes, I absolutely love being in the APA, which is crazy because even my totals, like, I learned so much just from talking to the lifters too,
Mm.
that are obviously totaling more than me, but I don't see it that way. I see it like, damn, why are they totaling more than me? They
Because
weigh less than
you've
me.
only done it a certain
Yeah,
amount of time.
and
This
then
takes time. It's
yeah,
if this was easy, everybody would be there.
that is true.
I mean, it's not
That
an
is
easy thing.
true.
It's not easy to push yourself when you're tired. It's not easy to walk in the gym and do something that you don't want to do. It's not easy. We don't feel good every day. We go through
No,
turmoil.
no. There's
So
some days where you felt something that you repped out last week, and
yeah,
it's just so
it's
it's
an
an
up and
up and
down
down.
battle.
Yeah, I was about to say it's just an up and down. Like you either good or you're not good, or you need to take a rest, or you take too much of a rest, and then you just got to find it in your body. It's so hard to balance things nowadays, especially with like eating right, making sure that you're clean eating right, and then at the same time making sure that you get enough water because your supplements and everything. Like I'm glad, I'm glad 100% that I'm still natural because I can't imagine the milliliters and like the water intake and everything that some of these athletes go through. I mean, at the end of the day, nobody really cares anymore, if you're natural or not natural. At the end of the day, push the fucking weight, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not natural, so I don't care.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I'm openly.
but
I'm,
you,
I mean,
yeah, I was
I
about to
do what I
say,
do, so
yeah, I was about to say, but I've openly accepted that, and I've told
it's just
everybody,
two. Okay, like to me, it's just two aspects of whatever you believe.
yeah,
Like to
yeah,
me, whenever I say, hey, I want to be a power lifter, and this is what I want to do,
yeah,
and then they say, hey, well, this power lifter does that. We're gonna do the same thing. We both bringing a pistol to this meet.
yeah,
I'm gonna bring a pistol. You're gonna bring a cannon. You're
yeah,
gonna bring test, D-ball, train. I'm gonna bring all that too.
yeah.
So whatever you take, I'm gonna take.
Everything's fair game.
Everything's fair game.
Everything's fair
That's what I
game,
say. Is
especially in the higher leagues too.
whatever you're gonna do to
Yeah,
achieve your dream, we're gonna do the same thing.
yeah.
We're,
I
we're not gonna have no excuse. Oh, you're this or you did this and we did the same shit.
Right.
So
Because
it is
at the
what
end
it
of the
is.
day, excuses don't get you medals.
No excuses. Don't
Excuses
get
don't get you
you
medals. Put that on a shirt. That's a
Put
good
that-
quote.
put that-
Excuses do not. It's like the other quote, which is the
It's all. I mean, I've always said that, like about being natural or natural. Listen, when I made myself, whenever I said this is what I want to do, this is what I want to accomplish, and this is who I am,
yeah,
then I said, okay. If I go to a meet and say, oh man, well he was taking this or he was taking this, well fuck it, we both taking it.
right.
So if
Yeah.
I lose, I just got my ass whooped.
Yeah. It's like you follow the same thing or do it
And I
better.
totally respect drug-free lifting. I totally respect it. I
Yeah.
totally respect those guys. But drug-free lifting can be cheated. Drug lifting can't be cheated.
Right.
We own everything, baby.
Yeah.
You can't cheat this. You either did it or you didn't.
Yeah.
You can go to a drug-free meet on drugs, right? And
Yeah.
you can win.
Yeah.
You can't cheat a drug meet.
Yeah.
You can take everything you want. It's fair. If
Yeah.
you lose, you lose.
Yeah. It's crazy because like
And that's
now
just my opinion on it. It's like I'm just it is what it is. Like whenever I say, hey, I'm gonna do this, then hey, it is
So-
what it is. So
So going on that before we end, I want to know like your opinion. If there's anything at all that you think like, damn, they're being really strict about it, but they shouldn't be about it. What would that like one drug or like one supplement be? Like,
None of, I mean,
think so?
listen, bro. This is you want my honest opinion.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
When it comes to supplements,
Mhm.
if I say I'm a football player, this is my dream. Whatever I put in my body is my business. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? If I whatever I want to do, God give me this or whatever. But whatever I do is my business. You
Mhm.
expect me to play football in the NFL, and then when it comes to like a recovery drug, I can't take it because it's regulated by you
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
To me, it's no holds barred. Like to me, whatever you want to do to be the best you can do, and it's scientifically able to do it, then do it.
Yeah.
Because we got Russians, we got Ukraine, we got people who cheat tests.
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
Right.
They take supplements that are under the table. So then they're still IPF is not drug free; it's drug tested.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
there are people who are able to manipulate and beat a drug test. I don't care because I'm gonna be on everything known to man. What? What? You understand? That's my opinion. So you can't beat me. You can't cheat to beat me.
I feel like Chris wakes up and snorts pre-workout every morning.
I'm just saying you can't. You can't cheat to beat me. If you beat
Oh,
me,
yeah.
you defeated me.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna go try to cheat a test.
All
I'm
right.
not gonna go to the IPF and try to pass a drug test when I'm
Oh,
on
yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do none of that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just compete where everything's legal.
Right.
And you're gonna do whatever you do, and I'm gonna do whatever I do, and whoever wins wins.
All out.
All
Just go
out.
all out the first time. Don't have to worry about it.
But I mean, but to me also, I respect drug-free lifting so much for the actual people who are really drug-free. I respect the people like you who really don't take anything, and y'all really go out there and pull y'all's heart out. I
Yeah.
really respect the champions who don't take anything and go do it. But sometimes those champions get defeated and cheated.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. It happens. It happens.
It's no different than remember when Ben Johnson beat Carl Lewis in the Olympics, and then Ben got popped for Winstraw.
Winstraw.
And then Carl Lewis got popped for asthma medication, but he never got suspended.
Right.
Like different asthma and shit that Hansen, he failed drug tests, but never got suspended or anything. But when Ben got caught, he got everything taken from him. You know what I mean? There was Marion, what was that chick? The Marion,
Ooh, I don't
Marion
know.
Jones. She
Yeah.
got popped for stuff. I mean, there's been people everywhere popped in sports for that. So I feel like it should be legal. I feel like everything should be legal. If you want to do it, hey, you're risking your own self when you do it. But hey, this is a sport. People come to watch a show.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I believe at like the highest level, you know, if I'm gonna watch like, you know, y'all at the Olympia or something, or like, you know, even even strongmen too is like another thing. Like I can't imagine what strongmen are on. Like to keep that, you know, whole thing. Like you ever see Brian Shaw shirtless? That dude has like traps that are bigger than like my whole shoulder.
You can't
Like,
assume.
yeah.
I mean, you can't assume because then Brian Shaw might say, hey, I'm
I'm
on
natural.
750 milligrams a test and 2 D-balls a week.
Yeah.
That's not a lot. And then I can't just say, oh, well, you're taking more than that. That he might do that, and he might just be that talented.
Yeah.
But
true.
that's the difference. That's why I
It's just
say
genetic
once
stuff.
you cross the line is
Yeah.
crossed. So whatever amount you need to take, then it's up to you to what you want to do and how far you want to go.
Yeah.
You understand?
Oh,
but
yeah.
I can't just say just because some guy is really strong that he's on a lot of gear because it's
Exactly.
not always true.
Right. Because there's some that are just like, I mean, I know some in particular that are like they pull like, you know, 755 for reps, you know, and they don't compete because they're like, oh yeah, I'm on just 100 milligrams of tests, you know. And I'm like,
Which is nothing.
that's it. Like it's just their genetic makeup is just
Genetic makeup.
yeah. And I mean, it's crazy.
I don't even think you fail the drug test on that.
Yeah, I'm
Like
just
100 milligrams, you might not even fail because it tested levels. So a person with lower levels could just shoot themselves up to a regular level. See, that's what Victor Count was doing with Balco. Like he would take your testosterone levels, and if you had lack of testosterone, he would give it to the legal limit. So he would performance enhance your limits, but he wouldn't do it where you would fail a test because some people don't produce as much as others. So if I take your levels and they're under it, I can make them the same, and they'll still pass the test, and you're still on something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Huh.
That's what he got caught. The Balco, Barry Bonds, and all those people. It's called a book called Game of Shadows. You should read it, and it's all about that.
That's crazy.
It's really cool. I've read Juice by Canseco too.
Oh. I read the document. Well, I read and watched the Strongman Across the World, and it's crazy because you really think, honestly, you really think anyone's gonna beat Eddie Hall's record competitively?
Fuck yeah.
Think so?
Hell yeah.
Well, eventually, but like right now, like
Yes.
as it stands,
Yes.
think so.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Hmm. That's.
Yes. Jamal Brown
Well,
can do it.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
dude, bro,
Yeah.
bro, and
I watched him
and
rep.
listen,
Didn't he rep it out the other day?
Eddie Hall's a monster.
Yeah.
Donnie Thompson is a monster. Dave Hoff is a monster. There's a bunch of monsters in the sport.
Yeah.
John Hack is a monster. When you say, is there going to be somebody to beat this? I'm going to say, hell yeah.
Well, that's fair.
In the 70s, when Don Reinhardt totaled 2,400, they said, man, well, no man ever beat this. Boy, you crazy. Daniel Bell's 2,600 raw.
God.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
2,600 raw. Eric Lillybridge, 23-something raw. You know what I mean? Like, there's multiple 2,400-pound totals raw, 2,200-pound. Dan Green, 242, 22-something raw. There's all kinds of crazy shit going on. The sport is developing so much and people are getting so much smarter that there's always going to be broken records. And what we think is great now in 10 years won't be great because humans are elevating everything. Like, even when the West Side Training went away. Wow, Louis gone. Those world records are that was Louis' way. It worked.
Right.
But there's other ways now that are working, and it's even more.
Yeah.
Because these lifters are fucking stronger than ever.
Yeah. It's like I read somewhere.
No woman, but when I went to jail, no woman had deadlifted 600 pounds at that time. There's a bunch of them. They got a 148 deadlifting 600 pounds.
Yeah, I saw the Instagram video of that recently, and I was like,
bro, it was like 600 was like the women's thing. No woman has ever done it. You know what I mean? I remember Ava Mathis, she's my homegirl. She always tell me, yeah, I'm a deadlift 6. I had my other friend, she was trying to deadlift 6. And then now all of a sudden it's a common thing.
Yeah.
Bro, a 2,400 pound total had been done a few times in the 90s. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. And then now you look at it too, where people are like doing 3 events, and they're like 1,024, 1,036.
Okay, so who's the first person to bench 800 pounds?
Ooh, no, I have
Anthony
no idea.
Clark.
I have no idea.
You know how many people have done that now?
It's a lot.
They got 198s doing it.
Enough for me to know.
Bro, they got 198s doing that
so
shit.
many people.
Bro, they got 1,000 pounds is the new 700. Back in the early 2000s, 700 was the number. 800 was the number. Those were good lifts. Now, I think James Grenick was the first person to bench 800 in the full meet. And now, shit, Dave Hoff done over 1,000. So when you look at the evolution of the lifting, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's like I was saying, like I saw somewhere where like 315 is the new 225, and that like stuck in my head. I was like,
I don't know about that.
I was like, oh man,
315 is not the new 225.
Don't think so?
Nah, fuck no. No, fuck no.
You think?
Bro,
think
okay, in my opinion, my opinion,
yeah.
I don't care how fat you are, if you can bench 315, you're strong.
Yeah.
Like, if a dude's 400 pounds, but he can hit 315 bench, I consider him strong.
Yeah.
If he's 100 pounds, he can hit. I think 315 is strong for any human being. That's like, okay, wow, this guy's strong.
Yeah.
You're 500 pounds, you got 315 bench. That's pretty fucking strong. You know what I mean? So I don't think so. I've seen little kids hit 225.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think that. I think that, like, a squat for me, if you can squat 400, you're strong.
Yeah.
A 400 pound squat, you're pretty strong. If you can deadlift 500 pounds, you're pretty strong. You know what I'm saying? Any weight class. You know what I mean? That's like he's getting there.
That middle.
Yeah, you're getting there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like that's where that's where you can tell, like, is he gonna continue this, or is he gonna, aesthetically go to it? Because you could go either way once you reach like a high level. I feel like everybody has that decision, and then like, do I train for physique or do I train for strength?
Yeah, the physique thing, man. I think the physique thing was just like the money. Like, okay, so we have a whole bunch of more different divisions. Those are people who have to enter. Those are family members coming. Those are people who are coming to the event. So I think the different physique divisions, why they have so many of them, it just elevated the Olympia financially for more competitors. Because if you only have bodybuilding, you only have certain entries, you only have a certain amount. But if you have physique, jiu-jitsu, powerlifting, strongman, arm wrestling, if you have all these different things going on in the same place, it's really just a money grab.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and it's a good thing. Every division is good because it gives somebody hope, something to focus on. But I think the reason why the Olympians started carrying so much stuff is due to the fact of the financial assets that it brings. You know what I mean?
It's like at the end of the day, you still get this Olympia trophy down here,
Yeah, you get that.
Well, which is crazy because
maybe not that one. You might get second.
Me?
No, I'm saying.
I was like, I got a long way to go still. I got a long way to go. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty good place. I think we covered everything. Yapped a lot, but you know
Yeah,
that.
we have a lot. Okay, so Lift for Gifts will be this weekend. We'll have a lot of great lifters. I know we yapped a lot and went on different subjects. It was a good conversation, though. Great conversation.
Always great.
Alexander Womack, Mike Womack, Chris Sutton, of course, Bam Bennett. We have a lot of great lifters. We'll have the news there. Ray Robinson of New Center 25 will be covering everybody, and we'll be interviewing Michael Womack, me, myself, and Andrew Jolly, and just talking about Texas powerlifting. Of course, Dr. Dre will be on the turntables. He'll be running it. He's the APA records chairman, so he runs a lot of the stuff for us and travels everywhere and helps people with the things they need to do. Texas Elite, y'all want some personal training and some great personal training, want to get stronger. I have a gym. Just contact me, Chris Pappllion, and we'll get you on it. We thank y'all for all the support. Also, big shout out, Gutierrez Cement, Dornberg Law, Arnold's Barbershop.
Correct.
Dr. Gary Branfman.
Huge shout out to him.
Yeah, a big shout out to Gary Branfman. All the sponsors helped. The VFW who gave us chairs. Gina Pena, Michael Pena, everybody who helped at the gym and donated toys. Ariana Rader, Ishmael donated toys. Johnny Perez, Bravo, his company is an oil field company. Johnny Perez. So everybody who helped out, thank you. If I missed you, please thank you, and hey, thank you for everything y'all done, because y'all made this easy and y'all donated out of your hearts, and it makes an event like this easy, and I appreciate it so much. Without my friends, I'm nothing. So thank all y'all.
Oh yeah, and again, this Saturday, if you want to compete, all you got to do is bring a gift, talk with Chris. Even if you want to sign up the day that we. D-Day. Like, if you're like, man, I woke up and I chose violence today, I want to go.
If you wake up and choose violence, holla at us.
Yeah, and we will get you in. We have no problem in shooting on it. So I have no problem entering you in.
Not at all. Everybody's welcome. It's free. All numbers will be sanctioned. It's going to open powerlifting. It's going to be a great event. Yeah. Show up, show out, let's go.
Yeah, pretty much. And then we have, right after that week, again, we have the deadlift party that's going on in Iron Compound in Corpus. And then shout out to everybody for, again, donating, making sure that this event goes very well. And like I said, if you want to come up anytime, talk to me, talk to Chris, and, anything at all, just hit us up, talk to us. I mean, we're pretty open people about anything. So, I mean, in all reality, we're just two dudes that just work out.
Two dudes out, yeah, just two dudes that push on.
Pretty much. Pretty simple guys. Pretty simple. So thank y'all very much for watching. And if you want to be on this podcast, get with Chris, because we're going to be starting it back up after these holidays.
We are cranking it back up, so it's going down. Appreciate everybody.
Thank you so much. See ya.